students, how are you all? I hope you must be fine. So today I am going to start chapter 2 of Civic Guiding Principles of the Indian Constitution. Earlier you all have studied about the Indian Constitution. Now let us go and read about the guiding principles as well. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India, firstly we want to know what are the principles. The principles of the Constitution are justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. And what are the pillars? The pillars are sovereignty, socialism, secularism, and the republic. Now, justice stands for the social, economic, and political. Liberty, we have expression to believe, faith, and worship. Equality, everybody should be equal and equal in the eyes of law. Fraternity is assuring the dignity of individual and the unity integrity of the nation. The term sovereignty has been derived from the Latin word superius, which means supreme. It has a supreme power of the state to take any decisions regarding with internal and external matters of the country. It makes a state independent as well as supreme. It is internal supremacy and external independence. It is free to make its own foreign policy decisions without any external pressure. It means that sovereignty cannot be transferred to anyone or other body without destroying. It cannot be separated from itself. Alienation of sovereignty by a state would mean destruction of the state itself. No sovereignty, no state. If a sovereign resigns, it does not imply alienation of sovereignty. Amounts to merely a change in the form of government. The government is only an agency to execute the will of sovereignty. Now, what is socialism? The other principle of Indian Constitution. Socialism means socializing the means of production, distribution, and exchange for the purpose of social benefit of the society. Now, the third principle of Indian Constitution, and that is secularism. It is followed in the democratic state of India where all the citizens are treated equally. As well, it was introduced to nullify the divide and rule policy brought by the Britishers. Then Indian Constitution also include the word secularism in the 42nd Amendment Act in 1976. In India, secularism means that all religion can peacefully coexist without any discrimination. Now the UAF, the Universal Adult Franchisee. This word is, I don't think so, new for you all. We all know. Now let's go. One of the most remarkable features of Indian democracy is that from the very beginning of the Constitution of India gave the citizens of the country UAF. This has enabled all the citizens of voting age to irrespective of caste, religion, wealth or sex. In many other democratic countries including UK and USA, some sections of the population such as the poor and the women have got voting rights after long periods of struggle. Now the rights, the fundamental rights. This is not a word that you are hearing first time. Fundamental rights. What are the rights? The rights to equality, the freedom, the exploitations, the cultural and educational rights, rights to freedom of religion, right to constitutional remedies, many. Now, if we go number one right, what is right to equality? In right to equality, all of us have the right to do each and everything equally, like to vote, to raise our voice. Then second, the right to freedom. We all are living in a democratic country. There should be no racism, there should be no casteism, there can't be gender bias, there can't be religion bias. Then if somebody is exploiting us, we can just raise up a voice. Then fourth, we have the right that educationally we should get our educational, and second, culturally also. Then fifth, we have the right to freedom against the religion. If somebody is disturbing us to follow some religion or just forcing us to follow some religion, we can raise our voice. And sixth, the constitutional remedies. There are so many laws, there are so many articles that we have to follow, and then we are following the Indian Constitution has already made. So that is for the Indian constitutional remedies. These were the 6 fundamental rights which we know. Why do we call these rights fundamental? Let's go. These rights are incorporated in 3rd chapter of the Constitution of India. Now, they afford a basis for the development of an individual. The people and officials of India are out to enjoy these rights. Now, we all know that's why the fundamental rights are made for us, just to that we can follow. The supreme law, the constitution has made us that each and everyone is actually equal in the eyes of law. So we are actually blessed that we are living in a democratic country. There are many countries which are actually, there is dictatorship, this monarchy government, they do not have such rights, but we are having the power to vote. So that is why we are blessed with the fundamental right as well. Now, what are the duties? That is our fundamental duties. Number one, abide by the constitution and respect the idols and the institutions. Number two, respect the national flag as well the national anthem. Then number three, follow the essential idealism of secularism, democracy and non-violence. Then fourth, to preserve the culture and heritage. Then to protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of the nation. Then safeguard the public property, to defend the country even at the cost of our life, to protect natural resources, to avoid dowry, gambling, and other social evils, to strive towards excellence in the respective space of activities of the individuals. Now, the duties has been already shared here. Now, we are as an Indian, we should follow all these duties if it has been given by the Constitution and the Supreme Law of India. Now, a very common topic we go here and there and we see everywhere, that is child labor. What is a child labor? Child labor is an invisible crisis, meaning that it is everywhere. Do you remember those cheap socks that you purchased from Walmart? A child in India probably made them but received horrid treatment and was paid $0.13 to manufacture the item. Do you know, it is child labor is a child substituting an adult for work usually. I can say that the child labor means a small child who is below the age of 13 and they are pressurized to work. Their family is not actually blessed with so much of money that they can go for the education. Now the government is taking steps that the labor children should go and study. That is why so many schemes and so many NGOs are open for them. But some people are not yet taking them. Some child are begging. Some people's child are working in an electric shop, or somebody's child is working in some factory. So these are the things which the government should actually see, because they are the ultimately the child and the students are the future of our country. What is the definition of the directive principles of state policy? The directive principles of state policy is the guidelines to the central and the state government of India. It is to be kept in mind while framing laws and policies that the provision contained in Part 4 of the constitutions are not enforceable by any court, but the principles laid down there are considered fundamental in the governance of the country, making it duty of the state to apply these principles in making laws to establish a just society in the country. Now, what is the conclusion of directive principles? They are the non-justable rights of the people, the guidelines to the central and state governments of India, and the non-enforceable by any court, considered fundamental in the governance of the country, as well as it is the duty of the state to apply these principles in making laws to establish a just society in the country. Now here the chapter is over, the points are over. Now the constitution is not a new word. We are the young people, we know that the constitutions, the principles, the laws, the regulations, the articles, the rights, the duties, all have been made for us. We should follow it and we should respect it. All the things we should do it legally. Whatever government is taking steps, whatever government is doing to develop ourselves, we should respect it and we should actually join them. So here I am ending up with the chapter. I hope the things are clear. Thank you. Stay safe.